Dear learners, Namaskar. I am Dr. Chinnu Prasad and the topic of your social science lesson is National Integration and Secularism. Let me tell you very briefly the objective of the lesson. Now, the first objective is meaning and the importance of national integration. National movement against British rule helped in national integration. Provision in the Indian Constitution promote national integration. The another most important objective of this lesson is challenges to national integration in our country. Now, the other objective of the lesson is implication of secularism and as a citizen of India, the changing role in promoting national integration and secularism in our country. So, we will discuss all these objectives in this lesson. Learners, you must have learned and recited our national anthem, that is Jana Gana Mana, and you would have also solemnly recited it with others on several occasions, especially while celebrating national events such as Independence Day and Republic Day. At times there may be a curiosity in you to know what core ideas does the national anthem communicate and why does it contain so many names of religions, mountains and rivers of the country, and also why does it make a references to the sea. You will agree that while reciting the national anthem, we show our love for the country, pay respect and wish her victory. At the same time, while mentioning various regions, mountains and rivers, we respectfully acknowledge the unity of our country and its diversity. Learners, you must be coming across news items and articles in newspapers or discussion on television focusing on the need to maintain the unity and integrity of our nation. In fact, national unity and integrity, that is national integration, has been one of the most important priorities of our country. In the course of analyzing the issues related to unity and integrity of the country, secularism is mentioned as the fundamental characteristic of our nation. It is said that secularism is one of the most essential conditions of national integration, and in this lesson I will talk on various aspects of national integration and secularism. Now, let me first talk on the national integration. Before we begin to talk on national integration, it will be better to understand its meaning, and this term has two words, nation and integration. What do we mean by the term nation? A nation is a country with a unified socio-economic and political structure. It denotes a body of people who have a feeling of oneness built on the basis of common history, society, culture and values. This feeling of oneness binds the people together to a nation. In general terms, it is this feeling which is known as national integration. National integration is the awareness of a common identity amongst the citizens of a country. It means that though the individuals belongs to different communities, caste, religion, culture and regions and speak different languages, all of them recognize the fact that they are one, and this kind of integration is very important in the building of a strong and prosperous nation. As we all know that India is a nation having great diversities, and the people who inhabit this nation belongs to different race, community and caste. They reside in different geographical regions and speak different languages. They believe and practice different religion and have varied lifestyles. But with all these diversities, they all are Indians and they feel like that. They may have religions or religious identities such as Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikh, Buddhists, Jains or Zoroastrians. They may also be identified as Punjabis, Tamils, Malayalis, Bengalis, Manipuri and so on and so forth, or South Indian or North Indian or Northeast Indian, but their national identity is supreme. Now, the national integration is essential for any nation with socio-cultural, religious, linguistic and geographical diversities, and for a country like ours, it is still more necessary. As we know, India is a very large country and we have a second largest population in the world. A unique feature of our country is that all the major religions of the world are practiced here, such as Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism and Zoroastrianism. There are more than 1000 languages that people of India speak, and there are also great varieties in custom, food and social customs. Geographically, our land is diverse and there are amazing differences in climate. Now, despite all these differences, India is one political entity and we have to coexist with each other peacefully, respect the culture and religion of our fellow Indians. This is possible only when national integration is realized in true sense of the term. National integration is necessary also for the security and development of the nation. It is claimed that cricket is like a religion in India. You also must have experienced that almost the whole nation is glued to the TV when the game of cricket is in progress. Our cricket players hail from all parts of India and belongs to diverse socio-cultural and economic setting, but they play as a single unit for the country. Now, people of all the regions remain completely engrossed with it. They celebrate every victory of the Indian team and express their disgust whenever it is defeated. Can there be a better example of national integration? Now, the another important point, or we can say the important objective, is national movement and national integration. Dear learners, you may recollect occasions when you read or you were told that India existed even in ancient times. Yes, India which we see today has been there since ancient times, but then it had been only a geographically entity because it was divided into a large number of princely states. There were cultural similarities in those states, but it was not one united and integrated nation like it is today. It was for the first time during the British rule that India became administratively united. The British rulers annexed several princely states and established indirect rule on others. Now, India became one geographical entity, but the feeling and sentiments of nationhood was not present among the people. The major strategy of the British rule or the rulers was based on divide and rule. They promote communal divisions, especially among Hindus and Muslims. The neglect of economic development of the people created many divisions in the country. It was during the national freedom movement that the feeling and sentiments of nationhood emerged and the need of or the need for national integration was realized. During that movement, people belonging to different regions, religions, culture, communities, caste and creed joined hands to divide or derive out the British power from the soil of India, especially under the banner of the Indian National Congress, which was established in 1885. People from all the sections came together and compelled the British ruler to quit India. Since the British rulers had adopted the policy of divide and rule, the freedom movement was focused on forging unity in the people of the country. Now, the leadership of the movement laid emphasis on equality, liberty, secularism, socio-economic development. When India became independent, all these formed the main objective of the new nation. Now, we will talk on the national integration and the Indian constitution. Learners, do you know when India got independence? It got independence on 15 August 1947 and the country was faced with many socio-economic and political problems. The national integration faced great challenges during that time, and you must be aware that the partition of the country created two nations, India and Pakistan. The partition caused the worst kind of communal violence. A large number of people who were living in the area for generations had to move to the other areas as refugees. You may have watched such scenes in some films and documentaries and serials on the television. Besides, the Indian political leaders were faced with complex issues related to integration of princely states. There were other factors also that had the potential to generate problems for the unity of the country. And on the eve of independence, India was divided into two sets of territories. The first was the territory known as the British India, on which the British rulers had directed control, and the second being 562 independent princely states having indirect control of the British government. When independence was declared, princely states were given the option to join either of the two nations, India or Pakistan. A few princely states joined Pakistan, but the rest merged with India. Now, however, there were exceptions like Hyderabad, Jammu and Kashmir and Junagadh, who wished to remain independent. There were problems with states of Manipur and Tripura also. Now, the Constitution of India lays great emphasis on national integration. Its preamble includes unity and integrity of the nation as a major objective, and it also stipulates that every citizen has the fundamental duty to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. The Constitution reflects respect for diversity of the country, but it tries to ensure that the unity and integrity is maintained. Many provisions under fundamental duties reinforce national integration. So, what are these duties reinforce national integration? Some of the important provisions are: it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India and respect religious, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our culture, to safeguard public property and to reject violence, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, so that the nation constantly rise to higher level of achievement. Now, we will discuss on the challenges to national integration. Now, we can understand that just after independence, India faced a number of challenges to national integration, and although various efforts have been made to solve these problems, some of the most important challenges are: number one is communalism. Communalism has been one of the most complex problems that India has been facing. This is generated when individuals belonging to one religion develop excessive affinity to other religion and hatred towards other religions. This kind of feeling promotes religious fundamentalism and fanaticism and proves to be dangerous for the unity and integrity of the country. It is more so for a country like India, where people practice all the major religions of the world. But India has been suffering from communalism since independence. The second most important challenges is regionalism. Regionalism is another obstacle in the way of national integration. On many occasions, it encourages people to promote regional interest even at the cost of national priorities. One may think that raising the problem of a particular region is needed to attract the attention of the decisions makers and to compel them to fulfill justified regional demands. This thinking is reasonable because such demands may be based on genuine grievances of the regions and states that have been denied fair shares of projects and industries in the overall structure of development. Those may also be related to the continued neglect of a particular region. In spite of over more than 6 decades of planned development, all regions in our country have not been developed in the desired manner. Along with other factors, the lack of expected socio-economic development results in demand for certain or creation of a new states. Learners, do you know how many times in India various states have been recognized because of the agitation based on regional aspirations? But when regionalism ignores national interest or encourages people to have negative feeling towards the interest of other regions, it becomes harmful. On many occasions, regionalism, protest and demonstrations are based on political consideration. Aggressive regionalism is still more dangerous as it leads to separatism. We have been experiencing such feeling in certain parts of states of Northeast and Jammu and Kashmir. The third important challenge is linguism. All of us know that India is a multilingual country. People of India speak more than 1,000 languages and dialects. This plurality has been negatively used on many occasions, particularly in the early decades after independence. Every country needs to have a common official language, but it has not been an easy task for India. When the recommendation was made in the Constituent Assembly to recognize Hindi as the official language of India, it was opposed by representatives of almost all the non-Hindi speaking areas. A compromise had to be made there. While the Constituent Assembly declared Hindi as the official language, it was provided that English would continue to be used for official purpose of the Union government for a period of 15 years. When the Official Language Commission set up in 1955 recommended in favor of replacing English by Hindi as official language, there were widespread protests in all the non-Hindi speaking regions. Such protests and demonstrations were seen once again in 1963 when the official language bill was introduced in Lok Sabha. As a compromise, the Act of 1963 allowed the continued use of English for official purposes without any time limit. During those conflicting areas, in order to satisfy various languages, groups and to promote national integration, the three language formula was evolved, and the formula includes the study of a modern Indian language, preferably a South Indian language, in addition to Hindi and English in Hindi speaking states, and of Hindi in addition to the regional languages and English in the non-Hindi speaking areas. Although efforts have been made to assimilate in the school curriculum of the country, it is yet to be fully implemented. Although the demand for language based states was met comprehensively when the states were recognized on linguistic basis in 1956. Fresh movements are going on in some parts of the country. Such movement generated many challenges for national integration. Now, the another important challenge is extremism. The extremism or extremist movement going on in different parts of the country and are yet another challenge to national integration. And you must heard about Naxalite movement or Maoist movement. This movement quite often use violence, create fear in public life, cause loss of lives of government personnel and people and destroy public property. Mostly the youth participated in such movement. Now, we have discussed about the challenges to national integration. Now, what are the factors promoting national integration? Although apart from various challenges, there are certain important factors that provide sound base for national integration, and these are: number one, the constitutional provisions. Now, Constitution has made provision for promoting and ensuring national integration. It has accepted socialism, secularism, democracy, liberty, equality, justice and fraternity as the goal of Indian political system. Citizens have been empowered with fundamental rights and their fundamental duties have been prescribed. Now, the directive principle of state policy directs the state to promote equitable economic development, eliminate social discrimination and promotion of international peace and security, and provisions related to various institutions and progress or the process have been geared towards national integration. The second important point is the government initiatives. The government have also been making efforts to promote national integration. A National Integration Council has been set up to consider issues related to national integration and recommended suitable measures to be taken, and a single planning commission prepares plan for economic development of the entire country, and one election commission conducts election. Now, the third important point is national festivals and symbols. National festival also act as an important unifying force. Independence Day, Republic Day, Gandhi Jayanti are some of the important festivals that are celebrated by all Indians and in all parts of the country, regardless of language, religion or culture. We also observe the National Integration Day on 19th November every year and take a pledge. This day is known as Qawmi Ekta Divas. Moreover, our national symbols like the national flag, the national anthem and the national emblem also help to remind us that we all have one identity. For this reason, we stress on the importance of showing proper respect to these symbols. This act as a strong unifying force both in times of celebration and adversity. They remind us our common nationality. The another important point is All India services and other factors. Moreover, the All India services like IAS, IFS, IPS and others, unified judicial system, postal and communication networks including radio and television are the internet, promote the unity and integrity of Indian nation. And you may be aware, learners, that the members of all India services are recruited centrally, but they work in the state. Many of them to work in the central government and be a part of policy decision making for the entire country. Postal and communication network definitely binds the nation. Now, we will discuss on secularism. Communalism has been one of the most disturbing problems. It has continued to be a threat to national integration, and it is true that traditionally the Indian society has been non-communal. Since centuries, it has been absorbing and assimilating many religions and cultures, but it was during the British rule that communalism was used as a tool to divide Indians. The colonial rulers created situations to convince Indians that primarily they were members of different religions, communities, and they must think and act differently. The constitution makers had sensed the negative potential of communalism. That is why the constitution declares India to be a secular state. Although the original constitution had many provisions to promote secularism, the continued reappearance of communalism demanded reassertion. Consequently, it was made on the basic pillars of Indian democracy, and the word secular was inserted into the preamble of the constitution by the 42nd Amendment Act in 1976. What does secularism mean? You may come across with some of the people who will say, I am secular because I do not believe in any religion. You may also find some politicians who say that what is reflected in the constitution is not true, but pseudo-secularism. Pseudo-secularism means false secularism. However, it is necessary to understand that secularism does not mean irreligious or anti-religious. The term pseudo-secularism is used only for the political purposes. In fact, secularism implies equality of all religion and religious tolerance. It may be appreciated in two contexts, state context and individual context. In the state context, it means that India does not have any official state religion. The government must not favor or discriminate against any religion. It must treat all religions with equal respect, all citizens irrespective of their religious beliefs and equal in the eyes of law. No religious instruction is imparted in government or government aided schools, but the general information about all established world religions may be imparted without giving any importance to any one religion or the other. In the individual context, it means sarva dharma sambhava, equal respect for all religions. Every person has the right to preach, practice and propagate any religion they choose. Every citizen must treat all religion with the same respect as he or she has for his or her religion. No religion permits individual or ignore or hate others. Now, what is the status of secularism in the constitution? Various provisions of the constitution ensures India to be a secular state. The Indian constitution, through its preamble and particularly through its chapter on fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy, has created a secular state based on the principle of equality and non-discrimination. Along with the principle of social economic democracy, secularism has been held to be one of the basic structure of the Indian Constitution. It has been reflected in the Constitution primarily as a value in the sense that it extends support to our plural society. Secularism aims at promoting cohesion amongst different communities living in India. Now, what is the significance of secularism? Despite the constitutional provisions and safeguards, it is unfortunate that all Indians are yet to be truly secular. Even a very insignificant reason leads to communal tension and violence. But secularism is essential not simply for maintaining communal harmony and peace, but for the very existence of our nation. If you look around yourself, you may find that your friends, classmates, neighbors or nearby residents believe and practice religion that are different from your religion. They belong to various castes. How can you interact with them and be a good friend, classmates or neighbor? If you do not respect their religion, they do not do the same for you. We all know that India has a plural society. It is therefore essential that all the people develop respect towards one another and practice peaceful coexistence. India is a land of the great diversities and infinite varieties. It is a country with at least 18 major languages and over 400 important dialects. It is a land that has given rise to 4 of the world's major religions. It is home to world's second largest Muslim population. It welcomed Christianity long before Europe embraced it. India has always offered refuge to people fleeing from religious persecution. It is a society with over 4,000 ethnic communities or caste or endogamous group. India is thus a multi-religious, multi-linguistic, multi-ethnic and multi-regional civilization. Therefore, secularism is the only way out where every religion and religious community will get the needed space to survive and respect each other. Now, to summarize in brief, dear learners, we can say that a nation is a country with a unified socio-economic and political structure. It denotes a body of people who have a feeling of oneness built on the basis of common history, society, culture and values. This feeling of oneness binds the people together into a nation. India is a nation having great diversities. The people who inhabit this nation belongs to different race, communities and caste. They reside in different geographical regions and speak different languages. They believe in and practice different religion and have varied lifestyle. But with all these diversities, they all are Indians and they feel like that. National integration is the awareness of a common identity among the citizens of a country. It means that though the individuals belongs to different communities, caste, religion, culture and regions and speak or different languages, all of them recognize the fact that they are one. This kind of integration is very important in the building of a strong and prosperous nation. It was during the national freedom movement that the feelings and sentiments of national or the nationhood emerged and the need for national integration was realized. During that movement, people belonging to different regions, religion, cultures, communities, caste and creed joined hands to drive out the British power from the soil of India. Simultaneously, they laid emphasis on equal liberty, secularism, socio-economic development that formed the main objective of a new independent nation that emerged after independence. The Constitution of India lays great emphasis on national integration. Its preamble includes unity and integrity of the nation as a major objective. It also stipulates that every citizen has the fundamental duty to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. India has been facing many challenges in its efforts to maintain and strengthen national integration. The most critical among those are communalism, regionalism, linguism and extremism. However, there are many factors that promote national integration. The Indian Constitution has made provisions to ensure and promoting national integration. The government have also been making efforts to promote national integration. a National Integration Council has been set up to consider issues related to national integration and recommend suitable measures to be taken. One planning commission prepares plans for economic development of the entire country, and one election commission conducts elections. National festivals also act as an important unifying force. National symbols like the national flag, the national anthem and the national emblem also help to remind us that we are all one identity. Secularism implies equality of all religions and religious tolerance. It means that India does not have an official state religion. Every person has the right to preach, practice and propagate any religion they choose. The government must not favor or discriminate against any religion. It must treat all religions with equal respect, and every citizen must practice the principle of Sarva Dharma Sambhava. It means equal respect for all religions. The Indian Constitution, through its preamble and particularly through its chapter on fundamental rights and directive principles, has created a secular state based on the principle of equality and non-discrimination. Secularism is essential not simply for maintaining communal harmony and peace, but for the very existence of the nation. Thank you.